Let's turn now to the latest on trade. President Trump commenting this morning on Squawk Box about negotiations with China and India. Megan Cassella has the highlights. Hi, Megan.
Hey, guys. Good morning. So quite a newsy interview, especially on the trade front this morning. The president really touting the deals that he struck with the European Union, with other countries as well. But he also talked about one country whose tariff rates might change before that implementation date on Thursday, and that's India. Take a listen here.
So we settled on 25%, but I think I'm going to raise that very substantially over the next 24 hours because they're buying Russian oil. They're fueling the war machine. And if they're going to do that, then I'm not going to be happy.
So not appearing to have settled, guys, yet on what rate he will be lifting that 25% level to, but clearly going to be something substantial for a pretty sizable U.S. trading partner. He had said that the India tariffs would take effect on Thursday. The secondary tariffs against Russia, he had previously said would take effect on Friday. So we are expecting some final movement and something to be signed to that effect later this week. The president then also spoke about China. He said things are going well there. He believes they have the makings of a deal, but he didn't go so far as to guarantee a meeting between him and Chinese President Xi Jinping later this year. Take a listen to that.
He asked for a meeting, and I'll end up having a meeting before the end of the year, most likely, if we make a deal. If we don't make a deal, I'm not going to have a meeting. I mean, you know, what's the purpose of meeting if we're not going to make a deal? But we're getting very close to a deal.
Now, guys, the president has been very sensitive to this idea of whether he or whether she first reached out and asked for a meeting. Chinese experts that I've spoken to say it's unlikely the Chinese were the ones asking for the meeting. And they also say it's unlikely that the president, Xi Jinping, I should say, would agree to a meeting or some sort of a summit unless there was a deal in hand. So that's something to watch as we wait to see if something like that gets put on the calendar. Guys.
Yeah, Megan, it's David. Any idea where India might end up and what exemptions, if any, will be a part of that? You know, I kind of also find myself wondering about Apple, which, as we've made the point, has moved much of the production of its iPhone meant for the U.S. market to India and what the impact might be if that's not in some way exempted.
We don't have any hard numbers yet for India. The president this morning just saying he was increasing it very substantially. But when he's talked about these secondary tariffs targeting Russia in the past, and China and India would be the main countries being affected by that, he's talked about secondary tariffs as high as 100%. If that's additive, does that mean 125% against India? And then we're back in the territory of where we were with China earlier this year. Exemptions are the biggest question, and I'd say it could go either way there. Mostly, this White House has said they haven't wanted to offer most exemptions, but on some of the heftiest tariffs we've seen so far, Brazil being the most recent example, those 50% tariffs, the exemptions have been quite sweeping. So it's sort of a wait and see. We'll see what we can hear from the White House throughout the rest of the day today.
All right, Megan, we'll be watching. Thank you. Megan Cassella in D.C.